Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie and this is my first video. This is going to be a summer 2022 houseplant tour and we're going to go through my entire houseplant collection in 3 different rooms in my house. If you'd like to see more on this channel, we are going to do species profiles, houseplant care and tips, and of course shopping. So if you'd like to see more, please click subscribe, the bell if you'd like notifications, and like this video if you do. Thanks. All right, we're going to start in the bedroom first. And this is the master bedroom, my bedroom. And we'll start with one of my favorites first. Even though it's a common plant. This is a Antebellum palm. And I've had this since it was in a 10-inch pot. And it is now in a 20-inch pot, 17 inches tall. And it does take up a lot of room. It's about 5 feet tall. Anybody's guess how wide, maybe 4 feet wide. And this is one of my favorite plants. I'm not sure why, but I love looking at it, and that's why I have it here. First plant I see when I get up in the morning. Next we have a Aglanema Jubilee, and they have kind of a bluish tint, dark green with a bluish, like pale green. I think it goes nicely with the dresser color. And I have a pair of them, about the same size. Very easy care. These are great plants. You will see throughout the house, I have a lot of Aglinema, and the reason being is that they don't dry out, they don't need a humidifier, they do well in low to moderate light, even high light. They're just great plants. I have a Cebu blue on the dresser, and this guy stays here, and he does pretty well. He would like maybe a little more light, but he gets pretty good light from the windows. He's crawling over to say hi to my octopus guy. I keep it pretty bushy. I don't necessarily like it vining all over the place, but yeah, he looks nice like that. Again, the blue color, nice blue leaves. Next, we'll move on to this Spathophyllum Sensation, the first of 2. This is my leggier one. It doesn't get as much light as the other one gets, but it still looks pretty good. It's pretty big, it's about 5 feet tall, and it is blooming. And this flower will unfurl in the next couple of days to a week maybe. Again, in a 22-inch wide, or I'm sorry, a 20-inch wide pot. So you can see that it is a pretty big plant. And here I have Lizzie, who is helping us, and Barlow, who is also going to help us. Oh, thank you. Next we have a Dracena white aspen. This is a relatively new plant, but I saw this at Lowe's and I couldn't leave it there. Really nice striping on the leaves. A couple of brown spots. A really pretty plant. And in this corner, We have a little setup of a Thematophylum Sprucianum, or a previously known as Philodendron Goldie Eye. And it's doing well. I had to move it here because it wasn't getting enough light, and now it's really happy. This is a Dracena Reflexa, or a Song of India. This is new as well. And this is some kind of begonia. I'm not sure what kind. It's some kind of a trailing begonia. It came with a lot of water spots and damaged leaves, so I did cut quite a bit off this plant, but I imagine it'll grow back quickly. Next we have the plants on the fireplace. And this one is a Aspidistra Milky Way, or a cast iron plant. Seems to be growing wider than it is tall. Oh, but I really like it. This is a Philodendron Mayo Eye. This one's also new to me. I don't even have it in a pot yet. Oh, I'm gonna make it a moss pole. So I've been kind of procrastinating on that. So that's why it doesn't have a house yet. And this is a Platinum Mist Peace Lily. It just got done flowering quite a bit. And it was not in a spot with enough light. So some of these bottom leaves are more platinum-y, and some of these newer leaves are less platinum-y. So I'm hoping now that it's here in my bedroom, which gets east and south light, that we'll see more of that variegation. And then here is a reverse variegated spider plant. Doing well. I really like the white edges against the dark paint on the wall. It looks really nice from a distance. And here's the other one, reverse variegated. And lots of babies. And this one's actually blooming. Little flowers. There we go, there's one that's open. So, then we have this bookcase, bookshelf, plant shelf. And up top is my most expensive plant. This is a Chafflera Actinify Lenova. I got this on Etsy, and it had problems, but part of it's my fault. I live in Ohio and had this sent in February, so you know, it got cold. But it's putting out new growth. And then it had spider mites briefly, but those seem to be gone. This was damaged in the cold. This was a new leaf. And then this is the newest leaf, so this one's really big. So I think it's doing better. But I love that plant. This is a Pepperoni Mia Polybatria, or Pepperoni Mia Raindrop. This was also moved here recently from a place that had a little less light. And I would like to get more big leaves like this, so. And a Hoya Polyneura. I think this was starting to get sunburnt a little bit. But I moved him out of the sun. The leaves are yellowing a bit. Added a little bit of fertilizer. He'll bounce back. Hoya Obovada Variegata. And this is a dwarf lipstick plant, I believe. This plant had no tag, but it looks like a lipstick plant. And I really liked it, so I bought it. And it's blooming. Adorable little blooms, hot pink, super hot pink. It seems to be, and this is all brand new growth, all this on top here. So, seems to be doing well. This is a Primolina Zuwan's party dress. And this is a very silver plant. A little bit of sun stress, turning pink. But very pretty, just got done blooming. And the blooms look like that. This is a Primolina Young Fuensis. Has not yet bloomed, but very pretty. And I'm not sure what kind of Primolina this is. This was a Home Depot hanging basket special. So we'll see what happens with him. We have a Hoya Sarawak. This was a very slow starter, but now it's going with these 3 new leaves and this little guy. So, looking good. And a Hoya Callistophyla, which has really started to take off. And common, but I love it. This is a Hoya Crimson Princess. Bring it out. And the pink vine is just really nice. Common, but one of the good ones for sure. Last but not least in this room is this Ficus elastica teneki, or rubber plant. Again, this is in a 22-inch wide pot, 17 inches tall. And I've had this plant for, maybe 3 years now. I've had to cut it back quite a few times already. And it loves sun. East window here and south window here. And the leaves are absolutely huge. So I am 5'8", if that tells you how big my hands are. This plant's over my head. This plant's probably near 6 feet tall. And I've cut it back here. I probably took 3 feet off of it when I cut there. Probably 2 feet off when I cut there. I'm trying to get it to bush out a little more. But yeah, they do really well in bright light. So I would recommend anybody, especially if you live in Ohio. Yeah, don't look at this leaf. I don't know what's happening with him, but anybody who lives in Ohio, full sun for these if they're inside, because that's when all the variegation really comes out. Like you see the really big white margins. When I got this plant in the store, all the leaves were more like this, with barely any white at all, not getting enough light. So, and I cropped this in the spring, and you can see there was less light in the spring, quite a bit less variegation, but now there's becoming more and more. So, all right. But I love this plant too. Truthfully, this Taneki is another one of my favorites. If the house was burning down, I'd have to figure out how to get this outside. Come on, Barlow, let's go. We will go to the kitchen next. And we'll be looking at the bedroom, the kitchen, and the living room today. Those are the only places that have plants. Hi, Lizzie. All right, and we'll look first here in the kitchen at this shelf of Aglanema. And I like to keep Aglanema here because this is across from an east-facing window, but it very rarely gets any sunlight, like direct sun from the window. And the Aglanema do well here without getting leggy. So this is a Aglanema cutlass. This is a Aglanema stripes, and this is a cutting from a large mother plant in the living room that we'll look at. This is a Aglanema Sparkling Sarah. I really like these with the blush pink stems. It's perhaps a little too big for under here, but I like it and I have nowhere else to put it, so that's where it's gonna go. This is another Jubilee. These are actually cuttings from one of the mother plants in the bedroom that you saw earlier. I wanted to see how hard it would be to take an Aglanema cutting. And it turns out that it can be done as long as you include some nodes on the bottom, but it does take forever. So have yourself a propagation place, somewhere to put them, somewhere to grow them. But now this is a healthy little plant, and it puts out new leaves all the time. And this is an Aglanema bamboo. And I haven't had this guy that long. Maybe 6 months, maybe. And he's just a little guy. And next we'll look at this Calathea Orbifolia. This is relatively new to me. Seems to be liking this east-facing patio door. Not too many brown tips yet, so we'll see. I stay away from Aglanema because I don't like to run humidifiers and all that business, but we'll see how he does. But right now, looking fantastic. And over here, this is a money tree. I bought this last week. I've never had one of these, but it was in a nursery, like a mom and pop nursery, and it was all tied together, and it had right here, had twist ties digging into it, and it was in the world's tiniest pot, and I just felt really bad, so I bought it and set it free. And now it's in a big pot, and it's not tied together anymore. So that'll be that. This is a white orchid that's on its way to blooming again. It's a white orchid with pink throat. And this is a yellow and pink orchid. This just put out this flower stem, so this is the second time that this has bloomed. This has been dormant for probably a year. I got this last year at some point, but really pretty. I like the yellow, I like the pink veining. Nice plant. All right, and last but not least, we'll look at the living room. And this is the living room. So we'll start over here. And we'll work our way over there, and we'll finish up in this south-facing patio door corner over here. So this is my sister's Majesty Palm. Got too big for her patio, so it came to my house. And I bought this plant from Sam's Club probably 3 years ago. It spent 2 winters at my parents' house. Now it lives here. I love this plant. This is another one of my favorites. I don't know what it is about palms. They're just so relaxing. I just love the look of them. And again, this is a 22-inch wide pot. So you can see that it's a pretty large plant. Pot is 17 inches tall, 22 inches wide. And it's above my head. I fit right under this leaf here. Oh, so it's probably about 6 feet tall. And this is a brand new leaf. This little guy, big guy. Shake him loose here. So this plant's doing good. And then here's my third orchid. This one is purple with white edges. And this just got done blooming. So he's gonna rest for a while. Lizzie girl. And more Aglanema. This is the Aglanema stripes, the mother plant. Beautiful variegation on this. Aglanema are so underrated in the houseplant world. I don't know why, for the life of me, that everybody's not in love like I am. How do you deny these colors? The patterns, they're stunning. They're stunning, I love them. This one is an Aglinema Silverado. A lot of nice, like a blue hue, bluish silvery hue. Newer leaves are a little more green and age out blue. And then this is a Lowe's Mystery Aglinema. I saw this and I had to have it. Look at the patterns, especially on this one. So pretty. Every leaf is different. And then the new leaves are a little greener. Oh, and my favorite part, white stems. I love the white stems. That's one of my favorites. Alrighty, then we'll go to the other side of the TV over here. 3 more Aglanemas. You have this grouping over here. This big one is an Aglanema Golden Madonna. Again, look at all that pattern, variegation. There's yellow, white, silver, dark green. You want it, it has it. And the beautiful white stems. I'm hoping as this plant gets a little taller, we'll plant it a little further out of the pot so you can see more of the white stems. This is actually another one of my favorites. This is Aglanema Indo Princess. And I just love like the camo pattern, pixely pixel pattern. You can see, so pretty. Don't mind the dust and the little dog hairs, sorry about that. And I love this plant. And again, every leaf is a little different. But yeah, this is a good leaf. This is a brand new leaf. That's everything good about that plant. Then we have, this one was not labeled. I do believe this is Aglinema Silver Queen, but I could be wrong. But it was pretty, so I had to have it. And it's got that real pretty silver, pale silvery blue color. New leaves are brighter green and age out to a silver color. Then we have this plant shelf with my rock animals and crystals. And first on the list we have another Aglinema. This is Aglinema Peacock. This is brand new. And I had one of these before and it didn't do well. I think the plant had a viral or like a bacterial infection. So I bought this cutting on Etsy. And it's called Peacock because it has these little, like this shape right here. Reminds you of that circle on a peacock feather. And the plant is supposed to have that kind of marking. So maybe with a little more age, it'll get a little more of that. Yeah, it's really nice. And it's still kind of stressed. It just got here a couple of days ago. So he needs a little time to chill out. This is a Black Pagoda lipstick plant. And the underside of these leaves, if you're an underside of the leaf color person, you gotta get one of these. They're really cool. Really, really cool. This is a Homolomina Selby. I've had one of these before, a larger one, and it and I were not friends. It got crispy and wilty and eventually died, and I threw it out and said no more Homolominas. And then I saw this little guy at the nursery and I was like, okay, one more Homolomina. They do like to stay wet. You have to stay on top of watering if you're gonna get this plant, or they will do this, get angry and crisp up on you. But luckily this plant seems to be like a peace lily. It'll get wilty, you water it, and it just comes right back to standing up again. So no crispy leaves yet. I've accidentally let that happen a couple times, so maybe this time, second time's a charm. And it's got a new leaf coming up. This is a Pepperoni stilt, is what the tag said. I think it's also called Tetragona. Leave me a comment if I'm right or wrong. Somebody who knows more about Pepperomia, tell me. But I saw these leaves and I had to have it, so. It's a beautiful pattern. And then the new leaves are kind of coppery. And they green up over time. This is like an intermediate. And they're cardboardy. They're firm. Super cute. And this is a lady palm, or a Rapis excelsa. I bought this at a garden center in the middle of winter that didn't have enough of a heater going, in the middle of a cold snap. And all the other plants were turning yellow and dying, so that's what's up with this leaf. All the other plants in the nursery were looking like this, so. But brought this guy home. He's doing good now, putting out leaves. This little guy's fixing to open up. And I actually had to stake it because it didn't want to really stand up straight, so I staked it with an orchid stick of all things. That's what I had laying around. Alrighty. Then we have this variegated spider plant. An oldie but a goodie. And the wall is pale and the plant is pale, so I like to have it placed on this darker background here to make it pop a little bit. And down here we have a Rhipsalis of some sort. This guy was all dried up and wrinkled and 60% dead at Home Depot. I brought it home and gave it a water, and it seems to have bounced mostly back. I probably had to prune a quarter of it off, but it just wasn't coming back. So we'll see how that does. I've never had a Rhipsalis before, so we'll see. And this is my Easter cactus. I've never had one of these either. This one blooms hot pink, and I got it at Easter time. And I love these round leaves. I like to have different leaf shapes around the house. Long, teardrop shaped, round, variegated, not variegated, shiny, not shiny. I think it makes it interesting. But then we have my Fiddle Leaf Figs, the first one of two. I bought these when I moved into this house because I always wanted one, and now I have two. Down in the bottom of this one is Philodendron Rio that's doing really well. Leaves are doing good. It seems to be pretty happy down here. Variegation's nice. Filling in the bottom of this pot nicely. And hopefully it'll spill over the sides and be really pretty. And then this Fiddle Leaf Fig is probably 5 years old. Don't mind the spider mite damage. See, that's what spider mite damage looks like. Even though the spider mites are gone, the damage never goes away. The spider mites love these things, at least here in Ohio. So this tree is 5 years old, and it's probably about 9 feet tall. Barlow, hush. And I've cut it back a few times already in an attempt to get it to branch out and not just be a tall stick. And I've cut it back pretty good, usually taking 3 to 4 feet off every time I prune it. So I've cut it here, I've cut it there, I've cut it here. And I have this tied together because it wants to sprawl out in every direction. I'd like it to grow a little closer together, so we'll see if we can get that to happen. But right about here is the top of my head height. So again, I'm 5'8", and then all of this is above us, way up here. That's probably as high as I can reach. So when I do trimming up here or get to the leaves up there, I have to get creative and get a ladder out. But it's lovely. And like I said, if I had to guess, it's 9 feet tall. And then this is the fireplace. I just have a matching set of plants on the fireplace. On the bottom here we have a set of Ponytail Palms. And I love these. Oh, I just love to do this. Run my hands through their hair, so to speak. And if you're a person that enjoys things like velvety leaves or touching the plants, and you can't look at plants without touching, you should absolutely get one of these because you can't help yourself. And this guy's been struggling a bit, but I also just moved it here, so things should be looking up. And then this guy has always had a little more sun, so he seems to be doing better. And again, just the leaves. And when this window is open and a breeze comes in here, and a little breeze runs through them like a little planty wind chime, I don't know, I love it. So yeah, I can't recommend these enough. I love them, I love them, I love them. And the stumps look something like that. And up top here we have a fern leaf cactus, or a shark tooth cactus, otherwise known as a Solenacerius. I might be butchering that. Solenacerius chrysocardium. I know the chrysocardium part is right. This isn't a rickrack cactus. It isn't a fishbone cactus. So if you want one of these, don't buy one of those. Go with either shark tooth cactus or fern leaf cactus. This guy was having too much sun at first, and I moved him over here and he seems to be doing better. His tips were turning pink and brown. He was drying out too fast. Too much sun in a south-facing window, but definitely doing a lot better now. And then we have his friend, and this one wasn't getting enough light. This one used to sit over there on that top shelf on the left where the Aglanema and the black pagoda lipstick plant are. And he was not getting enough light. So he was putting out growth like this sad, feeble little thing. And so I decided to put him up here and see what happens. See if getting a little more light would help it out so that the growth looks more like this and less like that. So, and these are beautiful. I really love these, but again, you have to keep them well watered. And it is working because this growth is new, brand new right here, this little guy. It's thicker already. And this is new. This little guy is getting thicker already. So I think we are in business with this plant being over here. And they're gonna get nice and big and huge and dangle down, whoops, dangle down and be pretty. Okay, tripping over furniture. Aren't I, Lizzie? Yes. All right. And this is the other Fiddle Leaf Fig. Again, in a 20-inch pot, 17 inches tall. And this is actually one of my oldest houseplants. I got this probably a month after I moved in, and I have cut it back I don't even know how many times, 4, 5, 6. Again, because I didn't want it to be a long stick, and that's what it was doing. It was just growing and then it was bending over, so I knew I had to prune it. In the bottom here, we're attempting to grow Marble Queen pothos, and it's going well. It's full, it's spreading. Ooh, variegation is nice. So, yeah, we're doing well with that. And then this guy, these leaves are really old. These leaves have been on for 6 years, and they've had sunburn, spider mites, uneven watering. You know, this plant has put up with a lot while I was learning what to do. So, he's been very patient. So first prop cut was here, then here, then there, and other ones along the way. And again, I'm 5'8", so head height for me is about here. And then we've got all of this above us. So again, this plant's probably 9 feet tall, close to it. He's got new growth on the top, coming in nicely. I had to treat it for spider mites, and after I did that, you see little leaves and then big leaves. He's much happier. Much happier after I treated it for spider mites. And you can imagine how fun that is, trying to treat a plant this big for spider mites. It's exactly as fun as it sounds. But I love this plant. And you know what, if you stay on top of it, if it does get spider mites, it does okay. But here in Ohio, at least for me, living out in the woods, I have spider mite problems. This is what is this? A night blooming cereus. And just last year, this was a little cutting all the way down here. Just that little cutting. And it's put all these leaves out here on the bottom. Then started with all these branches. They didn't want to stand, so they had to be staked. But now it's not getting taller, it seems to be getting thicker. So it grew all the way up to here, and now it's not gotten any taller. But it does seem to be putting on more thickness in these bottom shoots. Oh, excuse me, and it's decided it wants to put out a new branch, so this is brand new. This is brand new. I can tell by touching it that this is new. So it's doing really well, and it's loving this window. And with any luck, this growth does get woody, so if I leave it staked for long enough, this plant should hopefully stand by itself. So we'll see. This is a Fishtail Palm, and with my fish tanks, you can see why I have to have one. Leaves are a little bit dusty, but also this has been absolutely ravaged by spider mites. I don't have any now, but it's been a struggle. The struggle is real. But it's big. It's probably about 6 feet tall. Again, it's in a 22-inch wide pot. And don't want to back into the furniture again. That's what it looks like in its pot. So 22 inches wide, about 6 feet tall. And unfortunately, as is the story with a lot of palms, it seems that spider mites really like palms. But I like it too, so I guess we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight over it. But it's gorgeous. I love it. And this is the newest frond. This guy, and he's really big. He's like twice the width of all the other fronds, so it must really be liking this south-facing window here, or south-facing door, I mean. So these doors face south, these windows face east, so there's a lot of light in here. And last but not least, this is my other Spathophyllum Sensation, or Sensation Peace Lily. Again, in a 22-inch pot. It's about 5 feet tall. And you can see it's quite a bit less leggy than the other one in the bedroom. And this one has always been in a sunnier spot, not just now, but they both used to be in the bedroom, and this one had more light. So these Sensation Peace Lilies want light, light, light. All the light, all day long. Forever. And the leaves are pretty big. I mean, you know, this is the end of my hand here. That's the size of the leaf. This is a new leaf. It's actually smaller than the leaf I was just holding. And this one's blooming too, so that's nice. And they are thirsty. They're hungry, they're thirsty, they're everything. So they want all the food, all the water, all the sun. They are needful things, but they're gorgeous. And these blooms, like this is a smaller one, but I've had bigger ones that are the size of my face. I mean, these flowers are huge. So I will try to get pictures when they bloom to post for you guys later, so that if you've never seen what a blooming Spathophyllum Sensation looks like, you can see it. Because I love these plants. These are my other, you know, every plant's my favorite plant, but I love these. And that will conclude my summer 2022 houseplant tour. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the tour of my houseplants. If you want to see more from this channel, please consider subscribing. If you liked this video, please click the like button. And if you want to be notified of more content posted to this channel, please click the bell. Thanks again for staying all the way to the end. Have a great day and hope to see you guys back soon.